Hey guys, it's Becky here for SweetHaven Homestead. Got a bit of a break in the rain, loving the rain, so glad to have some rain. But it's kind of stopped right now. It's going to pick up later again, and I'm waiting for our new does to come. But so for their new pen that I've got them going in, I was going to use some of our new hay that we got, well, new old hay bales that we got for bedding, right? So I'm just starting to break into this first one here, and you can see how the outer side is all soaking wet. It was on the ground, it was outside, it was uncovered, blah blah blah. So we are got a lot of mold here, a lot of moldy hay, which is gross and dirty and yuck, not usable at all. So I'm just going to start plugging away at this. You can see kind of all the dark hay is where water has penetrated and perfect for mold to grow. So I'm not sure how much is actually going to be usable, so it's kind of discouraging, but we'll see. I mean, it looks like the middle is still pretty dry, maybe. I don't know, that looks kind of wet there. So I'm not sure. I'm going to start digging into it and see what we get out of it. Hopefully we get something usable, because that would be a bit discouraging. If not, but it is what it is. Yeah, so I'm still waiting for our does to come. Very excited. They should be here. Last I heard they were about 20 minutes away, so we'll see you again when they show up. Hey guys, so our goats have finally arrived, and as per our Facebook voting poll, their names are Lavender and Lilac. Yes, and they are mountain goats. So they are Nubian alpine mixes. So apparently they're more alpine than Nubian. That's why they've got the ears that are straight up instead of the droopy floppy ones. So I think their dad was a Nubian, no, their mom was a Nubian alpine cross, and the dad is pure alpine. They are about 5 months old, so they're going to get a lot bigger. And as you can see, they like to climb and jump, and yeah, so this is the pen they were supposed to stay in. Right, that lasted about 2 seconds before they were up on the wall and going over to inspect Maggie and the little ones. Yes, what do you think? Hi, what do you think? You're not impressed, are you? Hi, boys. Hi. Yeah, Maggie's been snorting and snuffing and you know, not too impressed with the new arrivals, but they'll calm down. Yes, you will. So we need to stop this gallivanting about. Eventually, yeah, well, I'm gonna go put some chicken wire up across the wall there so they can't get up and get up on the wall, and that should keep them in their pen, hopefully, because in another week and a half, the little boys are going to be going in this pen to be separated at night so that we can start our morning milkings of Maggie Mag. So yeah, lots of work to do. Still got to work out on our new old hay and see what we can salvage of that. So that is the plan for today. Okay, it is now 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The goats came at around 10. And it has been a nightmare. These are no ordinary goats. Apparently, I bought possessed goats. It's insane. So, I mentioned earlier how I was having trouble keeping them in their little pen, and they would jump up on the wall. So my first solution was to put chicken wire, up along the wall there, so that they would stay in. There's my chicken wire now. I tore it all down because that did not work. That lasted about 2 seconds before, obviously, they get a foothold and they're gone. So then I decided to get some pieces of plywood we had lying around, and I put them up along the sides. They were about, 2.5 feet wide. I figured that'll be okay. It was not. So how many hours? 6 hours later, and I'm still trying to keep these insane goats in their little corner. So this is what we've got. This literally is what I had to do to keep these demon goats in their pen. It's insane. So, I don't know if you can even see. We've got the little pieces, the short pieces of plywood along this side and along the back. I had those there originally, but that didn't matter because they can still get a little foothold on nothing. They can just wish it, apparently, and they vault over those. Don't matter. I mean, these guys can jump, I swear, they can jump like 6 feet straight in the air. It's insane. So, yeah. So then I got these full pieces of 8-foot plywood and screwed them up to the wall and blocked this little area because you know what, they'll get out of that too. And I've just got this piece of cardboard here, just hopefully as a visual deterrent. Blocked this little piece too. You notice how they're on this side of the pen, not this side, because if this lip was here available to them, they would jump their silly little toes onto this ledge and they would still be able to vault over the plywood. It has been a process. And you know what? I'm not even sure that this will keep them in. I'm going to have a sleepless night tonight for sure, because I don't think there's any way to contain these animals. I don't know what to do. I now know why the woman was selling them. It's obviously some kind of supernatural goat. It's crazy. So, obviously they're not endearing themselves to me right now. But I'll get over that. Yes, they're very skittish and they're super nervous, which I get. Just wanted them to, you know, have a bit more of a smoother transition. That would have been nice. But it is what it is. So far they haven't gotten out of this, but it's only been about 10 minutes since I finished piecing every little piece up there. So we'll see. I've spent the whole day hauling giant pieces of plywood around and screwing them up and then taking them down and then screwing them up. All the while, you know, chasing these goats around the barn because they kept getting out. And yeah, I've never heard the like. I mean, I've never experienced the like. I've heard goats were escape artists. My goats that I've had up until now have been pretty easy. So I see I was lulled into a false sense of, you know, goats, I guess. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Very interesting. I'm concerned now about putting them out on the pasture. So the reason I want them in this little pen and not in the other one is because in, like I said, a week and a half, the baby boys are going to use this pen, and this is a giant pen for the baby boys, but I want them to be able to see their mom who's in that pen. So they need to have the adjoining pens at the see-through wall so they're not freaking out when they're first separated. So yeah, and this pen would have been crazy to try to block in because I would have had to do that whole wall like I did, but I'd also have to do this whole wall plus the gate. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is just the perfect little stepping thing for them to get out on. I mean, this isn't going to hold them. It's laughable, really. So, yeah. The woman I got them from, I asked her what kind of pasture they were usually on, and I asked her if they were going to be okay on our page wire fence, and she's like, oh yeah, well they can't climb it as long as there's nothing near it that they can jump on and jump over. But you know what? After what I've seen from these goats, I don't even think so. I mean, I think they could vault that fence. They could jump that if they wanted to. Goodness, they'd probably use the llama as a bloody springboard. I mean, it's nuts what I've seen from these goats. And then, so the original plan, obviously I did not get very far on my hay tearing apart because, yeah, I've been goat-proofing that pen. So we've got our solar, our electro netting set up down here. So before Mark's gone to Vancouver this week, and he set this up for me. I put the fence up and then I wanted him to get the solar charger up. for them. So, because the woman said, well, they're electro fence trained or whatever. So we've got this set up for them to be a quarantine separate pasture that they can be in for like a couple weeks until they get acclimatized to being here. So we set this up. Mark set up the solar panel, but of course the day he left, well, it was yesterday, the charger he had bought stopped working, or something stopped working. He thinks it's the charger or the solar controller, or it could be the battery. We had an old battery. So something wasn't working and it wasn't charging the fences. So we went and got really long extension cords so we could plug it in from the barn, because we had a plug-in charger. So now it is, I don't know if it's, oh, deer flies. Yeah, it's on. I can hear it ticking. So the fence is charged. You may see Penelope get a shock out of it. Did you get a shock? Oh my goodness. Yeah, but there's no way this is going to keep those goats in. They can jump straight up and over this, I guarantee it. It doesn't matter. I mean, they may get shocked going over it. That just means they're out and they ain't coming back. Come on, Penelope. So I currently have no idea what I'm going to do with these. That's where we're at right now. And it's all part of the process.